know, make sure that, you're not, looking up down the line and having the, regrets that, things you could have, should have done better. Ask questions, learn as much as you can about what you do. Oh yeah, that's definitely got to ask questions. If you know somebody who's been in this business for a while, ask them questions. When I first got to grad school and I came to Atlanta, they nobody want to tell me nothing. Even though I asked, but I kept asking. And I learned, trial and error. I bumped my head a bunch of times. But at the same time, there are some of my older compatriots who point me in the right direction, so I wouldn't have to go down, and get hurt by some of the pitfalls they went through when it came to, allegiances and alliances they made, and bad contracts they signed and all that type of stuff. So yeah. I guess that's what I got to say on there.
I'm curious if you could talk to us a little bit about how it feels to be an artist in Atlanta, because historically in this country, New York is the epicenter of the art world. And there is a lot of action right now in LA, and Chicago's got its own thing going on. But Atlanta falls a little bit outside of that stretch. So how has it been working in Atlanta and Georgia, and really building your career there and engaging kind of in isolated occasions, with the broader, or...
I gotta tell the truth.
Yes, please.
Gotta tell the truth. I'm not gonna say no names, but the people who I work alongside and know me, my people, they know what the deal is. Atlanta's not there yet. The ideas, the artists, the talent is there, but the support isn't. And there's a lot of reasons for that. One of the reasons is there have been people who have been predatory to artists in the past and who have not gone about the right way of promoting artists they invest in. It's kind of like, when you sow a field, you're supposed to reseed it after. And a lot of artists have not been sold into to help sustain their practices. That's one thing. Two, when it comes to the collector base, there are collectors there, but there's a weird symbiotic relationship between collectors and galleries and artists that doesn't serve anyone. A lot of artists, I don't know too many artists who have representation, who are in Atlanta, who have representation in Atlanta. I don't have representation in the city. I'm here. There's a reason for that. And many other of my contemporaries as well. And we are, Atlanta's like us, become this cultural mecca, the movie industry, entertainment, sports, a lot of black, professionals are moving here from all over the country, and folks got money, but they ain't spending money on art because a lot of folks have been taught that it's art. I can go down to doggone some some store or something and get some off the wall. Home goods or something like that. Yeah, I got all they got all that food over there. And they driving a Bentley or saying a G-Wagon or something like that. And that's kind of like how art is perceived. So there's a lot of factors that kind of create this gap of support between the artists locally and the city. And again, and also the galleries, there aren't many, and again, practices that they use to foster artists and to educate collectors is, damn, am I saying too much? I think not enough is being done to educate the collectors about the importance of collecting and who and they should collect and why they should collect this work, why they should be stewards of it. And I think I'm gonna stop right there. Yeah. Right there.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask another leading
No,
question.
go ahead. Go ahead.
I mean, in your
answer to this
eyes, what do you think can be done to build that bridge or to inform people of the value of investing their money back into the neighborhood, also supporting artists? Like, what do you think can be done to make that message more clear? Do you think is it galleries coming to Atlanta? Is it, speaking to people that do have disposable income about the value of their dollar? What do you think is the best approach to that?
I say all of the above. Mm-hmm. All of it. Education, programming, residencies. Art has to be made. It has to be supported. It has to be collected. And then the valuation of it has to be kind of kept within the group. So if you're invested in something and, there's an artist you're pushing and promoting, make sure they get seen. Make sure they go to other artist collections. Make sure that they're, that institutions, are showing their work. And it's traveled, that's being seen and given visibility. All of the above. And all of that comes together to raise all boats, when it comes to artists being supported and to raise the value of the work you're collecting and to also create this, this culture of art production. I would say that, if there's a bunch of artists who are good, who are making things, it'll sustain itself. They're being supported. It'll sustain itself. It's an ecosystem that will work. But then there's things that have to be set in place in regard to, what people's responsibilities are. Not just the collectors and the artists and the galleries, but, we need more curators. We need more people writing about work. We need more people on museum staffs, boards who are welcoming to, bring artists in to be seen and for their institutions to acquire. This list is so long, but we need it all. We need to do it all. And, all those things will help to improve the condition for everyone. So, yeah.
Do you see yourself ever living anywhere outside of Georgia?
Not really.
Yeah.
I visit. I like hanging out with my people everywhere. But the South is my home. That's just how it is. I don't know if it's in the water, the sun, the sunshine, or what. That's just how it is for me. I don't mind visiting, hanging out, and spend some time and seeing, seeing how it goes over here, go over there. But I just can't see myself like putting my roots down here. But the South is how it is.
So we've spoken about some of the challenges about being an artist in Atlanta, in the South. What is it about the South that makes you want to stay there?
The climate.
As it's snowing.
Cost of living. The people. The culture. I wanna have a front row seat when we start winning again. I don't want to be nowhere else. But all those things. I'm Georgia born and raised, so and that's some things I want to foster and build myself back home. So I got to be there to do it. So yeah.
So speaking of fostering and building, what are you building in Georgia? What are you working on in Atlanta? I know you've got some interesting things that you are building, if you want to talk about those.
Well, I got a little bit. It's not necessarily in Atlanta, but it's in Florida. I know, I have me and my family, we are trying to get a distillery off the ground. My granddaddy was a bootlegger. And so we're trying to carry on a tradition. But we're in the process of building that out, and we're learning a lot, and we're trying to be like the Georgian version of Uncle Nearest, and but also besides that, there are some endeavors I like to kind of take under my belt, as I expand my artistic practice. I like to do a little bit more education, personal connection with the kids. Get them their hands into the materials and the processes of being a maker early. When I think back on my youth, I didn't get to touch painting, different types of mediums. I was like almost graduating high school. I was just drawing stuff. Number two pencils and notebook paper. So, if I would like to start doing some things like that, some sort of mentoring, direct connection with some interested kids, kids who really want to do. Not in the classroom yet. I don't think I'm not ready for that type of, being a professor or anything. But, I like to take on a young talented artist and help them develop. Yeah.
Okay, so kind of speaking to development and not really engaging much with painting as a medium until after high school, what was your journey like in college and post of developing as an artist at that stage?
Well, a lot of things changed pretty drastically, within a short period of time. My outlook. I went to Hampton. I'm a Hampton graduate. I went into my first year thinking I was going to be a graphic designer. And you know what I was talking about. Because, I didn't know there was anything else I could do with what I could do. And then, when I went and got immersed in seeing Dr. Henry Oswald Tanner and Charles White, Elizabeth Keller, I was like, hell no. I'm not going to be stuck in some room being a draftsman for some marketing company. I got to do something different. And I switched. And, I come, from Georgia. My mom and dad was like, how you going to make money, doing, I was like, I'll worry about it when I get there. But I got to do this. And I switched and I didn't turn back. Yeah, it was, I came out of a very competitive program. And this is a little quick side note. I would like to say I would love to see our best and brightest coming from out of HBCUs. It had to be said because I think there's a little bit too many of us coming out of PWI who are leading the conversation. I would like to see Morehouse and Spelman and Hampton and Howard and FAM producing the best that visual artists that is coming out of our community. I would love to see that again. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of value in that. I'm curious, just kind of dialing back a little bit, now that I think most of us have seen a little bit of Alfred's work on the iPad, speaking to you moving into the medium of painting, you use a lot of very unconventional materials in how you build your surfaces. So can you talk to us about the materials that you use and what you're seeking to express on your canvases?
Yeah, sure. I use materials that are reminiscent of things I see walking down the streets, things that are familiar to palettes that we all see. When it comes to rust, when it comes to cracked wood, I replicate those things in the images because we are as a people in a state of disrepair. We're still standing, we're still present, but we